While millions of people are screaming at their TVs, wearing jerseys of players they've never met, and emotionally devastated because their team lost by 1 point, marketers are watching too. But they're not cheering. They're taking notes. That jersey you bought, that energy drink you tried because your favorite player drinks it, that sports betting app you downloaded during halftime, none of that was an accident. Stay with me, because what I'm about to show you will completely change how you watch sports, and how you see every brand logo on every jersey, every stadium, and every athlete's Instagram post. Here's the thing nobody talks about. Buying something because your favorite athlete endorses it doesn't make you gullible. It doesn't mean you're easily manipulated. And it definitely doesn't mean you're stupid. But there is something fascinating happening in your brain when you watch sports. And marketers have spent over $65 billion learning exactly how to exploit it. Let's start with the obvious question. Why do marketers love sports so much? What makes a football game or a basketball game the perfect place to sell you things? Humans are tribal creatures. For thousands of years, being part of a group meant survival. Your tribe protected you, fought beside you, kept you alive. And sports teams? They're basically modern tribes with billion-dollar merchandising departments. When you watch your team play, your brain releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone. The same chemical that makes you love your family, trust your closest friends, and protect your children. Your brain is literally tricking you into thinking millionaire athletes you've never met are part of your inner circle. Wild, right? But here's where it gets interesting for marketers. When you're in that emotional state, oxytocin flowing, tribal identity activated, emotionally invested in the outcome, your brain's skepticism is basically turned off. And this isn't new. Marketers have known this for almost a century. In 1928, Coca-Cola became the first major Olympic sponsor. They understood that being present during peak emotional moments would make their brand feel like part of the victory. So how exactly do they do it? Let's break down the playbook. The specific psychological tricks that make sports the most powerful advertising platform on the planet. Trick number 1, emotional hijacking. Marketers don't just advertise during sports. They advertise during the exact moments when your emotions peak. The goal scored, the buzzer beater, the championship celebration. Your brain is flooded with dopamine, and that's precisely when they strike. Think about that. You're not just seeing the ad. You're encoding it into memory while experiencing one of the most intense emotional highs of your week. The brand doesn't just get seen, it gets felt. Trick number 2, captive attention. In a world where everyone skips ads, blocks pop-ups, and scrolls past sponsored content, live sports is one of the last places where you actually watch the commercials. You can't fast forward a live game, and marketers pay billions for that privilege. Trick number 3, hero worship. Athletes aren't just good at their sport, they're modern-day heroes. And when a hero you admire uses a product, your brain doesn't evaluate the product. It assumes, if a champion chose it, it must be good enough for me. You're not buying the product. You're buying a piece of your hero's identity. You're trying to close the gap between who you are and who you want to be. And that desire? Worth billions. Trick number 4, social proof at scale. When you're watching a game with 50 million other people, your brain calculates. If this many people care, it must matter. If this many people see this brand, it must be legitimate. The crowd validates the message without anyone actually checking if it's true. Trick number 5, classical conditioning. Pavlov's dogs salivated when they heard a bell because they associated it with food. Your brain does the same thing. Victory celebration plus brand visibility equals brand feeling like victory. Over time, just seeing the brand triggers those winning feelings, even outside the stadium. Trick number 6, tribal loyalty transfer. When a brand sponsors your team, it stops being a company. It becomes part of your tribe. Attacking the sponsor feels like attacking your team. And suddenly brand loyalty and team loyalty become the same thing. Think about that. A company can essentially purchase access to your tribal loyalty, the deepest and most ancient part of your social psychology, for the price of a sponsorship deal. Your Stone Age brain can't tell the difference between a brand paying millions to be on a jersey and an actual member of your community. And this isn't theory. In 1984, Nike signed a rookie named Michael Jordan for $2.5 million. Everyone thought they were crazy, but Nike understood something nobody else did. They weren't just buying an athlete. They were buying a future hero. And when Jordan became the greatest of all time, Nike became synonymous with greatness itself. Or consider stadium naming rights. A company pays $300 million to put their name on a building. Why? Because every time a fan says, "I'm going to the game at this or that stadium," every time a broadcaster mentions it, every time it appears on a ticket or a map, the brand gets embedded into the fan's daily language. The stadium becomes the brand. The brand becomes home. And then there's the Super Bowl, where brands pay $7 million for 30 seconds of airtime. Not because they need to reach sports fans, but because they know that during those 30 seconds, 115 million people are actually paying attention. In a world of infinite distraction, that's worth more than gold. Now here's where it gets darker. Because some of these tactics aren't just clever marketing, they cross into exploitation. Especially when it comes to sports betting. Sports betting ads don't just appear during games. They're designed to hit you at your most vulnerable. Halftime when you're emotionally invested. After a bad call when you're angry. During a close game when your adrenaline is pumping. They're not selling you entertainment. They're selling you a dopamine slot machine disguised as sports knowledge. Since sports betting was legalized, problem gambling has increased by over 30%. Young men between 18 and 34 are now the fastest growing demographic for gambling addiction. The same tribal loyalty, hero worship, and emotional investment that makes sports marketing work also makes sports gambling devastatingly effective at creating addicts. And there's something deeply troubling about athletes, the heroes kids look up to, being paid millions to promote gambling apps to their young fans. The same parasocial relationship that sells sneakers now sells addiction risk to teenagers who idolize these players. But here's the nuance. Because I'm not saying all sports marketing is evil. Sponsorships fund the sports we love. Athlete endorsements can introduce us to products we genuinely benefit from. And there's nothing wrong with enjoying the communal experience of watching a game with millions of other people. The problem isn't the marketing itself. It's being marketed to without knowing it's happening. It's having your tribal psychology, your hero worship, your emotional peaks exploited without your awareness or consent. The problem isn't sports. It's being a spectator in your own decision-making. Once you see the playbook, you can't unsee it. Every jersey sponsor, every stadium name, every athlete endorsement, every halftime betting ad, you'll notice it now. And that awareness doesn't ruin sports. It just means you're watching as an informed fan, not an unconscious target. So if you've ever bought something because an athlete endorsed it, if you've ever felt weirdly loyal to a brand just because they sponsor your team, if you've ever downloaded a betting app during a game and wondered later why you did that, don't feel embarrassed. You're not gullible. You're not a sucker. You're not weak. You're just a human being with a brain that evolved for tribal survival, living in a world where billion-dollar industries have learned exactly how to exploit that wiring. The only difference now? You can see the game within the game. You can watch sports, love your team, enjoy the community, while knowing exactly what's being sold to you and why. That awareness is worth more than anything they're advertising. So the next time you're watching the big game, surrounded by friends, feeling that primal tribal energy, remember, you're not just a fan anymore. You're an informed observer, playing a different game, one where you understand the rules that were designed to be invisible. And that game might just have higher stakes than anything happening on the field. If this changed how you see sports marketing, hit subscribe. We break down the psychology behind the decisions you make every day, the hidden forces most people never notice.